I'd come on and chat. I was just listening to Dana's live stream, and I wholeheartedly agree with her that there are so many bullies on here. There is so much behavior that is on here that is absolutely deplorable, for lack of a better term, and it does go unopposed and has for years. I mean, come on, you guys. Let's think back to when I first came on, not just YouTube, but like the live streaming of YouTube, because I think that was the downfall. Sadly, when that could have been a good thing, and it was a good thing. For quite a while, I loved being on here and going live. The things that we did together, all of us on here, all the ones that were, friends with each other, we supported each other. We had a good time. We did satires. We went live and just chit chatted about everything and anything in our lives. Because of a few, as they say, bad players, we lost all that. Lost it. Sadly, one of the bad players was one of the formerly good players that I used to hang out with. I need to mention no names because everybody knows who everybody is on here by now. Um, when I came on here, everybody was a friend as far as I was concerned. I was that type of person that, like Dana, thought, I will mention her name because I did mention her already and she's my friend. But like Dana, I thought everybody could just get along or just kind of stay away from each other if they didn't like each other. And that's pretty much, I think, what we did originally. I remember way back when, the very first live stream that I did, I was very nervous. Hi, Patty White. I didn't know what to expect. I just came on as myself. And I was a tell-all person. And I literally told all about everything in my life. Everything. Down to my love life with my husband. I kept nothing private. Morning, Weedsy Bat. And like Dana, I found people to be friendly towards me and to enjoy my openness and my vulnerability and my not holding anything back and my being super, what was the word they used? Because everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people would come to me and say, hey, that's what we love about you, is you don't keep secrets. You're not super private. You just tell your whole life and you're so open. And, it's refreshing how genuine. I think that was the word a lot of people used about me, was I was genuine. And they trusted me that I was telling them the truth. And I was telling them the truth, actually. And they believed that I was telling them the truth because I was. Until some bad players came along and tried to paint a picture that I was hiding something or that I was doing sinister things behind the scenes that you didn't know about, which was never true. Being that I bared all, my whole soul, my whole life, there was nothing you didn't know that I did. Even the bad stuff that I did in my past that I wasn't proud of. You knew that too because I told you that stuff. But along came these sinister folks thinking I was holding something back and not telling you the full truth. Yet that was never the case. And those of you that know me, you realize that nope, Dee Dee told us all that stuff. She didn't hide anything. We already knew that stuff. But like Dana said, back then when that happened, who stood with me? Very few people. In fact, many watching me right now might have been on the enemy side shouting, crucify her, at the time when the bad players came around and started stuff. It was each November that it would happen for 2 years in a row. November would hit and the same players would come on and have a Dee Dee flogging fest, if you will, for lack of better terms. I guess in the hopes to shut me up, shut me down, keep me from coming back on and having a platform. And, in a sense, I guess it kind of worked because At first, I kept coming back and saying, nope, nope, I know who I am. I'm strong. I'm going to fight this. I'm going to stand up to these bullies and just keep my channel going and keep talking about what I'm talking about. But after a while, the ugly kind of got onto me too. And I started resenting people and I started wanting to fight and take revenge on my adversaries. And I soon learned that, even legally taking revenge on the adversary, that doesn't mean you're going to win every time in the public eye. And there were times I didn't win in the public eye, yet I felt I won in my heart. So I kept coming back, and I still keep coming back every once in a while, and I will. Because honestly, this platform belonged to me and others that came originally, the forerunners of YouTube. Not the live streams, but YouTube in general. I was one of the first people to talk about narcissistic personality disorder. I know that to be a fact because I remember back when I did it, there were only maybe 3 of us that I know of that talked about it at all. It wasn't even something anybody had heard the terminology of. And those of you who think, oh, well, we've owned YouTube and we've been on here and this has existed long before YouTube. Think about how the world is. Think about computers in general. Let's start there. I was in on the ground floor of when live streaming and even YouTube and AOL is where a lot of it started. I was around for all that. When we talked about someday you'll be able to talk to people all around the world. You're going to be able to turn on a button of some kind. We don't even know how that's going to work. And you're going to be able to talk and everybody's going to hear you literally around the world. I was sitting in a motivational seminar for, I think it was New Ways or maybe Melaleuca, I'm not sure, when I first heard those words. And at that time, there were no public computers. Hi, Wheezy. Oh, Weezy and Wheezy together. I love that. There were no public computers. There definitely was not a YouTube channel. There was no live streaming. It didn't exist, y'all. There was a time when none of this was there. I think that's why we call ourselves creators, because there was nothing created that is now in existence. So those of you bad players who think you came in on the ground floor and you were around before all this, no, you weren't. You may have existed. First of all, the bad players, you're a lot younger than I am. So I know for a fact none of this stuff existed as long as you think it did. But the fact is, everything starts with a beginning. And YouTube started in the beginning with a couple people. I'm talking about our section of YouTube. And I'm talking about my experience here personally. Myself and another person on YouTube began going live together. And we had a good time. Oh my gosh, the laughter we had, the fun we had. And this person, I thought, was like the most genuine friend in the whole wide world. I really believed that. I wanted to believe that. Because in my real life, just like Dana, I had been going through some emotional stuff with people I thought were friends. One was a minister's daughter, actually. And I've talked about her on here before in the past, and I probably will talk about her again in the future if I feel that it benefits anybody in any way. In fact, this person gave me permission to talk about her, not by name, just the situation we had been through together, because she regrets how she treated me. She came back actually on Facebook and told me that she treated me horridly back then, and she just is so sorry. She's moved on. She now is married to a totally different person than she was married to when I was with her. And she has new children, stepchildren, and she has a new life. And I'm happy for her, and I hold no ill regard towards her. However, I will still tell people what she put me through as the personality she was back then, because she's given me permission to. And even if she hadn't given me permission to, I would if I thought it benefited somebody. I've never used her real name. I will not use her real name. There's no need to do that. But her personality and the flaws in her personality that wounded me in a way that caused me to literally start this YouTube channel. that will always be spoken of if I see a benefit in it to help somebody to avoid narcissism. I think she has gotten help for a lot of her narcissism. I think she's doing much better. Thankfully, people can change. The brain is very elastic, and we can make better choices. Somebody once told me, who's no longer my friend, sadly by their own choice, well, more my choice when they didn't treat me like a friend. She used to say, "You know better, now do better." And there is some truth in that. It shouldn't be used to bully somebody into doing better. But in your heart, if you know better, you should do better. Well, and that's what's happened on YouTube. People know better and they don't do better. And some people know better and don't care to do better. The bad players, they live for the humor in hurting people. They think that's funny. All I can say to those bad players is someday, maybe not on this planet, but someday I really believe that you will face somebody a lot stronger than you in a spiritual sense and otherwise. And you will answer to how you treated people on this planet when you were here. And how you came and took something that was so good and so enjoyable for many of us and totally destroyed it. Why? So that you could rule and reign in your evil. And you still do. You're still on here doing the same thing you always have. Unstopped, unfettered by anybody. Because nobody at all will stand up to you. I tried to stand up to you. I technically lost when I did that. But yet I didn't lose. Because I stood up for what I believed in. And I had a voice. Even if it was for a short time, I had a voice. And I will always use my voice. And I'm glad I did. I don't have regrets on that. Anyway, it's sad. It's sad what happened to YouTube. I remember when you could go online, you could make satire videos. I used to impersonate certain people. I would sing or talk like people to the best of my ability, just to be silly. And people took it as silly, not cruel, because there weren't the cruel people that were ruling and reigning on YouTube at the time. There were people that just liked to have a good time. We used to call that our friends. In fact, we thought everybody was our friend on here. Boy, did we learn, huh? Everybody isn't your friend. That's the fact. I know that, I know Dana likes to say she's sorry for being emotional or she's sorry for her stand on things. I'm not sorry. There's not even a sorry, not sorry. I'm not sorry for what I'm saying. I am perfectly well within my right and very serious about what I'm saying. There is no wavering with me. The bad players ruined YouTube. For me, for many people. Sadly, what I've seen is satire and fun on here turning into cruelty. Whether it's through what I would call political type cartoons, like Dana mentioned, the one about Evelyn, I guess being done, for lack of better terms, by a turkey or something like that. I didn't see that. I did not see it at all. I don't comment on that stuff because basically I think it's juvenile. I think, grow up, people. Seriously, you think that's funny? That's stuff that childish people do. And politics. You've seen a lot of that, even like in my younger days. I'm 57 now. I remember seeing in the newspaper, back when we had those things, those black and white newspapers that people used to read. Some people still do. I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen a newspaper in years. Except like to use for wrapping presents or something. But I haven't looked at a newspaper. But I remember seeing political cartoons where one president-to-be was bashing the other president, and they made his head look really big and put a goofy suit on him. And that's what I see a lot of that stuff as. But because we are personalities and because we have gotten to know each other, we take it very personal when you do that to one of our friends. Or to somebody that didn't say a thing to you. They just gave an opinion you didn't like. So you think it's your right to put disgusting, perverted stuff online. I don't get it. Like I said, I think it's juvenile. And it's sad to even say juvenile. It's like saying that you're like a child, and some children act better than some adults do, literally. Um, but I've seen a few things that, goofy cartoons of people on certain channels and things like that. Like I said, I don't comment because I think it's juvenile. I just ignore it. Like, come on, people, really? But I understand what Dana's saying. Nobody's speaking out against it. I guess I don't because I know it won't do any good. YouTube doesn't do anything about it. Do you guys remember way back when YouTube said, oh, we're going to stamp down on things. We're not going to allow abuse in the text. We're not going to allow people to come on and show this and that. And nothing was ever done about it. There were a few people they slapped the hands of. Those people just went on and made a different channel under a different name. What good did that do? None. Because the fact is, evil prevails where evil is allowed and tolerated and celebrated. That's just how it is, whether it's YouTube or real life. And I'm not talking about, well, if more people would get up and say this or that. It's not even necessarily about more people doing it. It's about the creator of YouTube doing it. Or creators. They're not going to. They are making revenue on this garbage. They don't care. As long as that money bank is filling up, they don't care who's bullying who. As long as there are views coming in, views meaning people are watching the ads and they're making money, they're not going to stop it. This is their territory. This is their way to feed their family, if you will. They don't care how they're doing it. They just care that they're doing it. So when the money stops coming in, then maybe they'll change their tune, or maybe they'll just find a new way to create other controversy online. Pink Lady Luck has made videos about how the internet controls the mind and how people are able to narcissistically and sadistically abuse people through smear campaigns. And even get you to watch things that you normally wouldn't watch just by the way they channel things. People study the brain, y'all. They know how your brain works. They know what's going to intrigue you. Not just your brain, mine too. Everybody's. People go to school to learn this stuff. And they know if they drop a little tidbit here or there, it's going to draw you right in. This kind of stuff, it's done for attention. It's done for views. It is. It's just how it is. That's why bullying continues. Now, I thought way back when the bad players came to town that people would defend me. I'm like, well, surely I'm Dee Dee. People know that I'm genuine. People have had relationships with me for years. I have all these friends on here. They supported me through a flood. They supported me when I was being bullied. Now that this new player and all of his little entourage have come to town, surely they will rise up and defend me. Psh, yeah. Some of the very people I thought were my friends were in on that crowd, the flogging crowd as I call it, the lynch mob. I learned really quickly that people that claim to be your friend, given the right circumstances, can very quickly become, what do they call it, turncoats? Yeah, traitors. Traitors. I had a lot of traitors that just joined right in on the lynch mob against my husband and against me. It almost ruined my marriage, which is what the bad players pretty much wanted to see happen because they judge people on their past and don't believe they can change. That's okay. My mom doesn't even believe people can change. Once you've committed a terrible atrocity, even if you were a kid when you did it, that's to label you for the rest of your life because you'll never change your ways. I'm really glad that I have beliefs that go contrary to that. And when you believe in someone that has done something terrible when they were younger and their brain was still forming, when you believe in that person, you say, hey, I'm not joining the lynch mob against you. I'm going to see better in you because I haven't seen you do anything wrong in years. And even the court judges that you are not guilty anymore. I'm going to believe in you. And I did, and it's proven out to be the case that people can change because people in my life have changed. See, in my family, we have ex-cons. We have same-gender relationships. We have polygamy. We have things that you guys don't even have a clue about and have for years. Do I agree with all that? No. That goes against my beliefs. However, I love the people for people. And when everybody turned against them, oh, and by the way, the people that turned against the people that were doing these things and practicing these kind of lifestyles and living this way, these were Christian people that didn't want anything to do with those people anymore. Guess who stood by them? Miss Holy Roller over here, me. Why? Because I looked past whatever they were doing that I didn't agree with and saw them as human beings. And the person that Dana was talking about that was putting the N word, they've come into my chats before and done the N blah, 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 blah down my screen. And you know how I handled it? I blocked them. I didn't bash them. I didn't put them down. I just said, nope, we're not doing that in here. Not appropriate. I've happened to work in schools over the years where that's exactly how we've told the kids that behaved like that. Not appropriate. You're not doing that here. You may do that in your home. You may have parents that teach you that kind of language, that teach you to be like that towards people, but not appropriate in here. And until some people on YouTube scream not appropriate, and until YouTube itself decides things are not appropriate, which I don't see that ever happening, the inappropriate will be allowed to continue. The bad players will be allowed to keep coming here and spewing their perversion and their hatred and their nonsense. Oh yes, I've sat in on the bad players chats many a time. Didn't stay long because it was so filthy and disgusting. Because some people think taking something that God called beautiful and perverting it and making jokes about it and making weird pictures of it is something appropriate and something funny. I don't have anything to do with that kind of thing. Even my cats can't get along, apparently. I'm going to go open the window so one of them can go out the window. One of the bad players. I'll be right back. Mice, rats, whatever it is you do as cats, go do it. I'm not tolerating this today. It's ridiculous. All right, anyway. Bad playership being demonstrated by the felines of the family, of course. Anyway, where was I? I digress with cats. Yeah, there was a saying a long time ago. I'm not sure who said it. Something about bad things prevail when good men do nothing. Something like that. I'm sure someone knows the saying. You can type it in or just know it in your head. It's fine. But it's true that evil will prevail as long as good people do nothing about it. But not just good people. In this case, we are talking about the internet. The internet is bigger than anybody realizes. As long as things are allowed on the internet, they're going to continue and they're going to flourish. And they have. We've seen happy, funny things turned into perversion and hate against people. Like, I used to be able to make a satire video, an impersonation video, impression video. And now, if you do that, the other person is told by other bad players that like to plant seeds of whatever, oh my gosh, they're out to get you. They're just doing that to mock you. Look at how they treat you. And it was never that way originally. We just all did that to each other and had a good time. We laughed about it. We laughed. It wasn't something seen as evil at all. There was one person that I did kind of like an interview thing with another person, and that person got so mad at me because I mentioned their name later on that they struck my video. They struck my channel. They struck my video. I won't even say the person's name because if they know I say their name, they will just strike my video, and I don't want this video struck. I want people to listen to it. I want people to know that way back when, in whatever it was, 2019, 17, I don't even know, things were good on here. We had a good time on here. We had friends on here. Now, okay, Dana talked about there's kind of that us and them mentality, like the people on the other side. There was always that, Dana. Even in the good days, there was that. We had a few people that didn't like other people. There were channels other people didn't like. But we all kind of just stayed on our own side. If we didn't like it, we didn't watch it. We didn't go there. But now there is a very clear delineation of the us and them. These are the evil people, because there are evil people here. Back then it was just people we disagreed with their viewpoints. Now there are blatant evil people on here, and they're running the show, folks. They're running the show. And sadly, those that I thought were my friends either joined the evil bad player people, or they just disappeared entirely. Do you know what that's like, though? Seeing people that stood by you through tragedy turn on you and actually believe lies about you for hours at a time, for several days in a row, hearing your name smeared, hearing your reputation absolutely gutted and destroyed, and watching people you thought were your friends that you were sure would jump in and say, "Wait a minute, sir. Wait a minute, ma'am. We know Dee Dee. She was here before you were. We trust her. We believe in her. She's telling us the truth. She never held anything back." Not many people did that for me. Honestly. I think I remember making a list of all the people that were my friends and all the people that were my enemies. And my enemies far outranked my friends on those days. And sadly, the names of those enemies were former friends or former people I thought were friends. Because when I was down at my lowest and my husband was down at his lowest, those people were the ones that supported us. They were the ones saying, "Dee Dee, we're just waiting to see that you're okay. We come on here every day to see how high the floodwaters are getting." Literal floodwaters, y'all, for those of you that weren't around during the floods. We came here to make sure that, you didn't drown in the floods and that you didn't lose all your stuff. And we want to support you and send you money. We want to help you. And it's not about the money, y'all. It was about the hearts back then. The hearts of people that cared. The hearts of people that befriended us. And some of those very same hearts utterly turned against us. Now, I'm happy to say that some of those hearts that turned against us have actually come back and said, "Hey, I'm sorry." Some of them I would even call friends again. Many of them I talk to outside of YouTube. I'm thankful for those people. I'm thankful for forgiveness. I'm thankful for healing and restoration and reconciliation. That probably will never be seen or rarely be seen on YouTube anymore. There is one person I'm going to address because I want to. Michelle. I'm not saying what your screen name is because everybody knows who Michelle is. That's the name you used for years on here. I want to encourage you, Michelle, to be a mediator. If you want to make your channel about something, get two people up on your channel and mediate between them, because I have never seen a better person to bring two people either to an agreement with each other, tolerance of each other, or just parting ways in peace. You are an excellent mediator. I will say it till the day I lay my head on the casket pillow. You are the best mediator I have ever met in my lifetime. Please, instead of joining the bullying, instead of bullying on your own, start a mediation channel. You want to grow a channel? That's what you could grow a channel doing, Michelle. Mediating between people. Because I will never forget the times I've seen you do that, and I've watched miracles happen in your chats. That's what you need to be doing. That is where you thrive. That is a gift that you have better than anybody I've met in my lifetime, and I'm dead serious, except maybe my foster mom. She's an excellent mediator too. So do it. That's my encouragement to you. I mean, take it or leave it. I hope you'll take it. I hope you'll really watch this and say, whoa, Dee Dee said something good about me. Yes, because it's true. And as much of the garbage that you've done to me and put me through, I will always say you are an excellent mediator and you have it in you to use your powers for good and not evil. And I hope you will. Honestly, I hope you will. Um, yeah, phenomenal at that. I've been wanting to say that for a long time, and I think I said it on another live stream way back when, but it probably got lost in the archives or the shuffle. And I just wanted everybody to hear that and know that. And I wanted her to hear that and know that as well. We all have the power to do good in our lives, and we have the power to do evil in our lives, and it's up to us to choose which one we want to do. I work every day. I work with people with special needs. I have to sometimes tell them that's not appropriate. And I do. I do tell them that. And they have to listen to me because I'm in a place of authority. I have a voice of authority. So no, I didn't reign as an authority on here for very long, and that's okay, because in my real life, I am looked up to as, whoa, Dee Dee has spoken. We better toe the line or there's consequences. It's not a position of pride by any means. It's a position of humility. It's a position of saying, whoa, I'm responsible for lives, making the right decisions. And they actually look to me for help with that and guidance. And if I tell them, go left, many of them will go left. Some of them will buck the system and try to go right. And they'll find out why they shouldn't have done that, because there will be consequences. It's a very humbling thing to be in any type of position of authority or leadership. It really is. And it should never be used as a sense of bolstering your ego and, ooh, look at me. And unfortunately, the bad players, that's what they thrive on. Even if they don't say it. They don't say, whoa, I'm in charge of everybody and everybody bows to me. Oh yeah, actually they have said that. They have labeled themselves in such a way that they believe that. Even if it's just in satire. It's not about believing that you're superior to people. It's about realizing, whoa, their lives are in my hands. What am I going to do with these lives? How am I going to help shape these lives? How am I going to direct people to the right sources to get the help they need and to be better human beings? That's what it's about, y'all. And so I don't come on YouTube because the lack of respect, maybe, towards me, towards others, the lack of tolerance and embrace that's there, that used to be there. It's so sad that it's gone. It really, truly is so sad that it's gone. It breaks my heart how YouTube has turned from support for the underdog to lynch mobs of all, underdog and otherwise. I remember people could come in my chats. Some of the people that were so afraid of human beings because they had been so stamped down in their actual lives, they could come into my chat and find solace and comfort and encouragement and make friends. They loved my chat for that reason. They would tell me, Dee Dee, we love your chats because that's where I met my best friend. We talk offline too. We're besties. You know, I thought I couldn't trust anybody again, but your channel is a safe place and I can come in here and be myself and people don't beat up on me. Even some people with like multiple personality disorder could come in and feel comfortable in my chat. Their alters could roam freely in my chat and just be themselves. They didn't have to worry about condemnation or somebody just calling them a name or typing the N-word through my chat, because they knew as soon as I saw that I would nip it in the bud. I still will, so don't pull it. Evil people don't have a voice in my chat. They never will. Not unabated. They may start, but if I see it, I will nip it. Remember when I used to have a bunch of admins, like people that would manage my chat and do it fairly? Well, I can't even do that anymore. It got to the point where I couldn't even trust my admins. because there were too many personal agendas going on behind the scenes. And if a certain person came in that liked a certain other person and they didn't like them, well, I'm going to block them. I'm going to silence them from talking in your chat. No, that didn't fly with me. And eventually I was the only admin of my chat, and currently am the only admin of my chat. So that didn't work in anybody's favor, especially the people that felt safe in my chat when other people had agendas. You can't have two captains of a ship, especially if they have two different visions of things. It doesn't work well. Anyway, on a lighter note, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my church Christmas party last night. It was super fun. I posted some of those videos so you guys could kind of vicariously enjoy the fun with me. It was a riot. These people were pretty wild. This is my new church I just joined, and they told us to post things to social media because they would like to invite people to come join us next year and have an even bigger bash. Although I think if more people would join, they probably need a bigger venue because that place was pretty small to try to dance in, honestly. And can you imagine 100 more people coming, flocking in through those doors? That would be very crowded. It was very crowded last night, but it was very fun. I did sing at one point. I sang a church song. It was called Through It All. It was by Darlene Check. She was from Hillsong back in the day when she was part of Hillsong. And it went really well. I felt like when I was singing this song, their karaoke system or whatever their sound system was amazing. You can hear all the background music. You sound like a professional singer even if you can't sing in tune. I don't know how they do that, but I remember when I started singing, I'm like, I can't really hear me. I can't hear my voice, so I can't tell if I'm singing this in tune or not. All I could hear was like the background stuff. But everybody said they could hear me, and I know when other people sang karaoke, we could hear them, so I guess they could hear me. It wasn't like, oh, it's all about me. I just couldn't tell if I was on tune or not. But people said it sounded good, so I'm glad. Anyway, that was pretty cool, singing like that. And Matthew and I got up and danced together, which was very wonderful. I like that romantic side of him when it comes out. It's rare that it does, but I love it when it does. And that was a lot of fun. And there were so many good people there. And, we don't all agree with each other. We don't all, click with personalities in the church. We don't. So if we don't, we just don't hang with those people. But we know we're all brothers and sisters, and, we do our best to just find things we agree on. Like there was certain instances where I didn't agree with what was going on. I didn't agree with how I was treated. I didn't make a big deal of it. I didn't come on here and bash the person and make videos about, well, I went to this church thing last night and this person treated me this way and I didn't like it, so I'm just going to smear their name all over the place. No, we don't do that in our church at all. We just recently became members. If there was an instance where there was a discrepancy between two people, I have every confidence that our pastor could sit down with us at a table and hash it out and come to a calm, peaceful agreement that both parties would be mutually satisfied with, or we would at least part in peace. Guarantee you that. Because this church has been around for many years. I used to attend this church back when it was predominantly full of teenagers. And all those teenagers have grown up, and many of them are still in the church. So that tells you something. There's a stable environment there. Whether the beliefs are exactly spot on with what I believe, not necessarily. I don't know yet because I haven't been there long enough to really learn all the beliefs. But I'm sure there will be something that rubs me the wrong way because you know me. I have my own belief system, and it's very hard to find a church that goes along with that. I will say this church definitely comes the closest of any of the churches I've visited, and that's why I became a member of it, which is very strange to even say that because Dee Dee doesn't join churches. But I did join this one. And I have to tell you, last night at that party, I said to Matthew, yeah, this is our church, honey. We really joined a church. He's like, we joined something. Um, some of the songs they were playing were a bit worldly for me. I didn't like that. But would I bash each person that got into it and sang and danced a certain way? No, because I'm not about that. And unfortunately, like I said, YouTube has become all about that. This section of YouTube and many other sections of YouTube. That's no fun for anybody when somebody just nitpicks every little thing. People are at different stages in their earthly walk, if you will, or their godly walk, or whatever kind of walk they're walking. Some people's eyes just haven't been open to certain things yet. But the brain, is elastic, and you are capable of change. Even the worst bully can change, given the right circumstances and maybe the right person to come into their life and help them heal from their inner childhood wounds or even inner adult wounds. And that's what I want to see happen with people. I want to see healing. I want to see restoration. I want to see change. But the fact is, y'all, if you believe like I do or anything close to the way I believe, this isn't the final stopping ground. There's more after this world. There's more after this life. If you believe that way. I believe that. And even if you don't believe that way, if you believe, well, we die, we go in the ground, that's it, then make the best of this go around. Because I don't know if people get recreated and, reincarnated, if we come back as an animal or whatever. I don't know. I haven't died to be able to tell you what's on the other side. So I wouldn't presume to do so. All I know is that while I'm on this earth, I'm going to be the best person I can be to other people. If people harm me, I will take justice into my hands and do what I can to protect myself. I probably will expose a few people on this planet while I'm here to warn other people, hey, they're a hurtful, angry person that has an ugly attitude and they're dangerous. Stay away. I will do that. But YouTube is not my main place anymore. My real life is my main place. But I know there's people on here. I know for a fact there are bedridden people on here because I've heard from them that watch me. So I do occasionally pop on and I do a live stream here or there, and I do some shorts that I upload and some videos because, well, it's fun. It's nice to have a voice and be heard. It's nice to share my life with people that I know that's the only way that they're going to live life. If you can't get out of a bed and you can't go out and do anything, it's kind of nice sometimes to watch someone else that can and share that with you. And I make it my point of coming on here so I can do that. Uploading videos, sharing my family gatherings and stuff makes people happy because maybe they don't have family. Maybe my family is like having a family to them. I mean, honestly, I treat others like I would want to be treated. What if I was the one stuck in the bed? Recently, I've been going through this. See my arms? See this stuff on my arms? This stuff. Don't know what it's from. 2 months of this mess. Doctors they said it was shingles, then they said it was scabies, then they said it was poison ivy, they thought it was my laundry detergent. Nobody knows. Still waiting to get in with a dermatologist. Thankfully, the itchiness has gone away. I took 1 dose of prednisone, and it started seeping all this stuff away. Whatever it does, I don't even know what it does. It dried it up a little bit and stopped the itching, and it's not spreading anymore, which is awesome. But the prednisone gave me the worst jaw pain I've felt in my life, to the point where I wanted to rip my cheeks off if I could have. It was awful. So I won't take that stuff again. It's always done me wrong every time I've taken it. And it has awful side effects, but it is helpful for people that need it, and I'm glad it's there for people that need it, and I pray that you don't have miserable side effects from it like I did, but I can't with that stuff. I have to find other ways to treat things. So I'm going through my own personal HE double hockey sticks, if you will. I'm still working. I just cover my arms when I work for the most part, and I think it's eczema, so I'm treating it as eczema, and it seems to be helping. On my vacation time, which is coming up soon for Christmas and holidays, I am going to take a week and I'm going to test myself for food allergies. Because one thing I have been doing lately, which I hadn't been doing all along for the longest time, was I've been eating a little differently. For one thing, I've been drinking soy milk, and I know soy is a known allergen. And if soy milk is producing these spots on my arms that have lasted over 2 months, then I'm going to nip that real quickly. But I need to purge my system of everything that I've been eating all along, all the sugary treats for the holidays and stuff like that, and get everything cleaned out, and then start with the very bare minimum of testing with basic foods. And I don't know what they are right now. I have to go and do some research and plan the whole strategy, but that is how I'm going to self-diagnose and self-treat myself, since I can't seem to get into a dermatologist anytime soon. And the closest one is miles away, and there's like a very long waiting list. So unfortunately, I guess because of overpopulation of the world or whatever, you can't get to a doctor that can really diagnose properly and help you these days in some instances. So sometimes you have to use some home remedies and just figure things out on your own. Which years ago, y'all, when there wasn't the knowledge that we have, a lot of herbs and things were what people used. So it's kind of like history has gone all the way back around, and now we were back to nature trying to figure out on our own, what is stinging nettle good for? Or how does cinnamon help the blood sugars? And things like that. We have to figure it out. Anyway, guys. I've pretty much been doing all the talking. Does anybody else want to say anything or have any questions for me or whatever? I'll give it a moment and then I'll head off of here because that's pretty much all I have to say today. Gonna get ready for church shortly. I need to go clean my bathroom, and that's about all on my end of things. We are doing a gift exchange at work. Oh, excuse me. The lady that I'm exchanging with is into puzzles and doesn't like coffee. She likes popcorn and salty treats and camping. So that gave me some cool ideas for her. I won't say what they are because just in case she might find my YouTube channel and know what her gifts are, that wouldn't be any fun. So we're going to keep it a secret. But I might try to remember to tell you what they were, like later, if I come back for another live stream or something. All right, so that's all I got. So thank you, Patty White, Wheatsy Bat, and Wheezy, sorry, for popping in and for saying hi. Too bad we couldn't talk more than hi and get past that, but I get it. That is YouTube these days for Dee Dee. Nobody talks. Nobody converses. Nobody wants to say anything other than hi or hey. And that's okay. Whatever. Hi to you too. I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday. If I don't pop on here and do a live stream before the holiday's over, have a great one, everybody. Be kind to one another. Be kind to your family and your friends. And if you don't get along with somebody in your family, just part ways. Go downstairs while they're upstairs. Go in another room. If you can't leave the room, zone out in your head. Sing some happy tunes in your brain cells. I don't know. But don't fight. It's not worth it, honestly. There's people in my family I don't get along with. There's people I don't click with. I just pretty much stay silent. I'm learning that sometimes the best words said are the unsaid ones in your head. Keep them in your head. In fact, I tell people that I work with that say mean, sometimes ugly, perverted things, you don't have to say that to them. Just keep it in your brain. Keep it in your head. We used to say to the kids in schools, put a bubble in your mouth. And they'd go, especially the first graders or the second graders, or even the kindergartners. Put a bubble in your mouth. They knew what that meant. That meant, shh. We don't want to hear ugly words. We don't want to hear cruelty to your neighbor or your friend. So it works in schools, I guess. So why can't it work with humans that are older and should know better than to say mean things, you know? All right. Anyway, guys, that's all I got. Thanks for hanging with me, and I will talk to you on the next live. Hi, Suzanne. Thank you. Guys, have a great day. I'll see you soon. Be blessed. Bye bye.